The entire private hangar fell silent the moment the billionaire boss lady, Camille Hartman, froze on the metal stairs of her jet, her eyes locked on a sight that made every staff member gasp. Captain Liam Kingston, the most respected young pilot on the West African-American flight circuit, was standing too close to her maid. Not just standing, he was staring at her with an expression no one had ever seen on his face. Soft, mesmerized, completely captivated. And the maid, the quiet caramel-skinned girl with natural fluffy hair and big innocent eyes, looked just as confused as everyone else. Her name was Nia, 22. Brilliant, observant, shy, and known for keeping her head down. She held Camille's laptop bag against her chest, startled, unsure why a man who had flown presidents, royals, and billionaires could not take his eyes off her. Camille's voice cut through the still air. "Captain Kingston," she called sharply, "is something wrong?" But Liam could not answer. His gaze remained glued to Nia like he had just found something he didn't even know he was searching for. Whispers scattered across the hangar. Is he staring at the maid? Since when does a pilot look at someone like that? Camille is not going to like this. Camille took slow steps down the stairs, her designer heels clicking against the metal, her eyes narrowed. She had seen many things in her wealthy life, but this was new. Her pilot, professional, disciplined, uninterested in distractions, looked like he had fallen in love at first sight with her maid. A maid she brought everywhere, a maid she trusted more than her friends, a maid she depended on. A maid she could not afford to lose. Nia, suddenly aware of the tension, lowered her eyes, whispering, "Good morning, Captain." Her voice shook. She didn't understand the weight of the moment, but everyone else did. And then, right in front of Camille, Liam did something no pilot in his right mind would ever do. He stepped closer, lowered his voice, and said to Nia, "You don't have to be afraid of me. I'm just glad to finally see you up close." The hangar exploded in murmurs. Camille's mouth dropped open. Nia's eyes widened. Liam blinked like he had just revealed too much. And Camille, whose temper was known across business circles, slowly turned her head toward her security chief. "Get everyone on the jet," she said tightly, "now." But as Nia walked past her to board, Camille grabbed her wrist with a grip that made the girl flinch. "We will talk about this," Camille whispered in a voice ice cold enough to freeze air. The tension followed them into the jet, and the moment Nia settled in her seat, the jet door shut, sealing the drama in with them. Captain Liam entered the cockpit, but before he closed the door, he looked back straight at Nia, and their eyes locked for a second too long. Camille saw it, and the shock on her face deepened into something darker, something dangerous. The jet engines roared to life. A trip meant for business and strategy had become something else entirely. No one knew that this moment was just the beginning of a story none of them would forget. And before the jet lifted off, Camille said something that made both Nia and Liam stiffen. "Since we are already here," she murmured, "let's see how far this foolishness will go." The screen would fade to black on YouTube at this exact moment, leaving viewers in tension. Because no one knew what Camille was planning. Or why Liam looked like he had recognized Nia from a dream. Or what secret Camille had been hiding from everyone, one that made her reaction far more intense than anyone expected. And just as the jet lifted off the ground, something happened that turned the situation from shocking to dangerous. A message flashed on Camille's phone. A message that read, "You cannot let the pilot talk to the girl. Remember what we told you." Her hand trembled, and she looked at Nia with new fear. Not jealousy. Not anger. Fear. The kind of fear that meant this wasn't simply about a crush. Something much bigger was happening. Something Nia had no idea she was part of. And Camille whispered, so quietly only the audience would hear it if this were a movie. "This cannot be happening, not again." Then she turned sharply, forcing a confident smile as the jet rolled forward, pretending everything was fine. But her heartbeat betrayed her. Because whatever Nia didn't know Whatever Liam had sensed when he first saw her. Whatever secret Camille was desperately trying to bury. It was about to explode. And the entire world would see it. The aircraft shot into the clouds. Nia held her seat confused. Liam held the cockpit controls shaken. Camille held her phone terrified. Then a loud beep sounded from the cockpit, and Liam's startled voice echoed into the cabin. "Ma'am, we have a problem." The jet began to tremble. Everyone inside froze. And that was how the passengers of Hartman Jet 9 found themselves suspended between the sky, a secret, and a love story that should never have begun. The aircraft shuddered again, a low rumble crawling under the seats like a warning growl. The passengers looked around nervously, except for Camille, whose mind was spiraling somewhere far beyond turbulence. Her fingers tightened around her phone as if it were the only thing keeping her reality from bursting open. Nia, sitting 2 rows behind her, clutched the armrest. She wasn't afraid of flying, but the sudden heaviness in the cabin made her chest tighten. She looked toward the cockpit, hoping someone would say something reassuring. Meanwhile, Captain Liam was staring at the control panel with disbelief. All systems were fine. The weather was clear. The jet was in perfect condition. The warning beep didn't match anything on the display. His co-pilot frowned. "Sir, that alert shouldn't even exist on this model." "I know," Liam replied in a low voice. He glanced back through the open cockpit door and his eyes immediately found Nia again. She wasn't looking at him this time. Her gaze was on Camille as if she sensed something was terribly wrong. Liam turned to the co-pilot. "Keep us steady, I'll make an announcement." He stepped into the cabin, smoothing his uniform and forcing a calm smile. "Ladies and gentlemen, there is no cause for alarm," he said. "We're experiencing a minor technical glitch. The jet is stable and under full control." People relaxed a little. Nia didn't. Something about the way he spoke, polished, controlled, too careful, told her the issue wasn't minor at all. Camille's eyes narrowed as she watched Liam move. She saw the stiffness in his shoulders, the subtle tremor in his hand, and she knew he was hiding something. But something else bothered her more. He kept glancing at Nia. Even now, even in the middle of a mysterious jet malfunction. Nia was adjusting the strap of her bag nervously. Her natural hair puffed slightly from the humid morning. Her caramel skin glowed under the cabin lights. She wasn't the kind of woman men stared at for superficial reasons. She had a quiet intelligence that made her presence soft but impossible to ignore. And Liam looked at her like that softness was pulling him in. Camille felt a storm rising inside her. She had worked too hard, controlled too much, held too many secrets together to allow everything to crumble because of a pilot with curious eyes and a maid who didn't even understand the danger surrounding her. She stood abruptly. "Captain Kingston," she called. Liam paused in the aisle. "Yes, ma'am." "A word now." Nia's heart dropped. Liam followed Camille to the private lounge section of the jet. The moment the door slid shut, Camille folded her arms. "What exactly is wrong with this aircraft?" she demanded. Liam hesitated. Camille stepped closer. "Don't play with me, not today." Finally, he exhaled. "The alert we received, it's not mechanical. It came from the external emergency frequency. Someone signaled us." "Signaled you?" Camille whispered. "Yes." Her throat tightened. "What did the message say?" Liam looked conflicted. "Ma'am, I'm not sure how you'll take this." Camille grabbed his wrist. "Say it." The signal said, "Protect the girl." Camille's entire face drained of color. "The girl. The girl. Not her, not the jet, not the passengers, only the girl." "Nia." Liam continued. "There were no coordinates, no source, nothing, just those words. Someone wants us to know Nia is in danger." Camille turned away, her heartbeat pounding against her ribs like a trapped drum. This was not supposed to happen. Not today, not in the sky, not with Liam here, someone she couldn't control as easily as her staff. She swallowed hard. Keep this between us, no one else hears about this. Liam's brows furrowed. Ma'am, with all due respect, that message. I said no one. Her voice cracked slightly. Not even Nia. Especially Nia. Liam didn't understand, but he nodded. When they returned to the cabin, Nia immediately noticed Camille's trembling hands. She whispered, Madam, are you all right? Camille stared at her for too long, eyes full of something between fear and guilt. Liam cleared his throat. We should resume the flight, everything is stable. But right as he turned to leave, his sleeve brushed Nia's hand. She froze, startled. Liam froze too. The contact was accidental, but the effect was instantaneous. Nia's breath caught. Liam's pulse jumped. Camille saw it. She stepped between them instantly, placing herself like a wall. Nia, sit in front. But madam, that is your seat, Nia whispered. I said sit. The reallocation made no sense. Everyone on the jet exchanged confused glances, but none dared question Camille. As Nia took the front seat closer to the cockpit, Liam stepped inside to complete the flight. But the moment he closed the cockpit door, his co-pilot whispered, Captain, you need to hear this. The radio crackled again. Same frequency. A second message. Liam leaned closer. This time the voice was clearer, distorted but urgent. She doesn't know yet, the voice said, but the billionaire will never let the girl leave that jet alive. Liam's eyes widened. The co-pilot shivered. Is this some kind of threat? Liam didn't answer. Because he knew one thing for certain. Someone wasn't lying. And someone inside this jet was hiding something connected to Nia. He stared through the cockpit window at the back of Nia's head, her natural curls bouncing softly as she adjusted her seatbelt. Then he looked at Camille. Her posture was stiff, too stiff. Something was terribly wrong. And as the jet cut through the clouds, Liam made a decision he had no right to make, no reason to make, and no guarantee was safe. He would protect Nia, no matter what it cost him. He didn't know why he felt this way. He didn't know why she mattered to him after just minutes. But he knew danger when he saw it. And whatever this flight truly was, it wasn't a business trip. It was a trap forming around a girl who had no clue she was the target. Liam tightened his grip on the controls. Then, without warning, the voice returned one last time, more desperate than before. She must not trust the billionaire woman. The maid is not safe. Static. Silence. Liam's heart slammed against his chest. The jet flew on. And everything that seemed simple a few hours ago had now become a dangerous puzzle with one central piece. Nia. The jet sliced through the sky, smooth and deceptively calm. But inside, the air felt heavy, too heavy for an ordinary business trip. Nia sat quietly in the front seat, her hands folded neatly in her lap, glancing around every few seconds as if trying to solve a puzzle she didn't know she was part of. Camille watched her with unsettling intensity. Liam watched Camille with concern. No one spoke. The silence grew louder. Finally, Camille leaned forward slightly and said, in a tone too gentle to be real, Nia, dear, come sit beside me. Nia blinked. Yes, madam, she replied softly and rose. As she walked toward Camille, Liam's eyes followed her through the cockpit door window. He didn't know why he was so alert, so protective, or why his instincts felt sharper around her, but he trusted his instincts more than most men trusted their families. And right now, those instincts were screaming danger. When Nia sat beside Camille, the billionaire's expression softened a little. How long have you been working for me again? She asked quietly. Almost 2 years, madam. 2 years? Camille repeated slowly, almost sadly. And in all that time, has anyone ever asked you strange questions? Has anyone followed you, called you from unknown numbers? Nia shook her head. No, madam, nobody, I don't have that kind of life. Camille swallowed, her jaw tightening. Are you sure? Yes, madam. Camille looked away, startled by something sitting heavy in her chest. The girl truly didn't know. She didn't know anything. Camille felt torn between truth and fear, between guilt and power. She looked over at Nia, studying her innocent face, then her expression hardened. Some truths were too dangerous to say aloud. Especially in the sky. Liam stepped out of the cockpit again, pretending to check the cabin, but his eyes immediately moved to Nia. Miss, are you feeling all right? He asked. Nia nodded politely. I'm okay, sir, thank you. Camille's eyes sharpened. Captain, she said, I need a private word with you. Nia felt something cold slide down her spine as Camille stood and followed Liam toward the kitchenette area of the jet. As soon as they were out of earshot, Camille said lowly, whatever message you heard on that frequency, keep your distance from her. Liam stared at her. With due respect, ma'am, the message literally said to protect her. And I am protecting her, Camille snapped. No, you're controlling her, Liam shot back, surprising even himself. That's the difference. Camille's nostrils flared. You don't understand anything about this situation. Then explain it, Liam demanded. But Camille didn't, she couldn't. Because the truth, if spoken aloud, would break the world Nia lived in and possibly put her in more danger. Liam took a step closer. If someone wants to harm Nia, I need to know why. Camille whispered, because someone believes she is not who she thinks she is. Liam froze. What does that mean? Camille's voice was barely audible. Keep her close, but not too close. Don't let her see you watching her. Don't let her feel unsafe. Don't let her realize what's at stake. Liam stared at her, confused, frustrated, alarmed. And Camille whispered, before this trip is over, someone will try to contact her or take her. Take her, Liam's heartbeat thudded in his ears. Why would anyone want to? But suddenly, a loud thud hit the side of the jet. The whole aircraft jerked violently. Nia screamed as her seatbelt locked tightly across her chest. One of the attendants stumbled into a wall. Papers flew from a tray. Liam dashed back into the cockpit, slamming the door behind him. Camille rushed to Nia and grabbed her hand. Stay calm. What's happening? Nia cried. Camille didn't answer. Inside the cockpit, Liam scanned the controls. Nothing was wrong inside. The engines were stable. The altitude was holding, but the jet had definitely been struck or hit by something. The radio crackled again. The same frequency. Liam reached for the headset slowly. This time the voice wasn't soft, it wasn't urgent. It was panicked. They've seen her, they know she's on that jet. You must land immediately, land before they reach you. Liam's blood ran cold. Who is they? He demanded. Who is coming for her? Silence. Then a sound, a chilling static, followed by a voice distorted beyond recognition. Don't let the billionaire give her up. Don't let the girl step off that aircraft with anyone but you. The radio died. Completely. Liam stared at it, breathing heavily. He had flown through storms, emergencies, and military pressure landings, but nothing had ever made his veins ice over like that voice. Meanwhile, Nia was shaking uncontrollably as Camille wrapped a blanket around her. Why is this happening? Nia asked in a tiny voice. Camille hesitated. Nia, you have to trust me, she said. But Nia wasn't convinced. Even her boss looked terrified. For the rest of the flight, no one spoke. The turbulence faded. The sky returned to calm, yet every person on that aircraft knew the calm was a lie. Something unseen was closing in. Something dangerous. Something connected to a young maid who believed she was ordinary. As the jet began its descent, Liam made a silent vow. He would get Nia off that aircraft alive. He didn't know why. He didn't know how. But he would. And even Camille could no longer deny it. This was no coincidence. This was destiny moving too fast for any of them to stop. The wheels touched the runway. Everyone braced. And waiting at the airport, lined up like an official escort, were 3 black SUVs with no plates. Camille's eyes widened. Nia held her breath. Liam whispered, "Dear God." Because whoever they were not from the airline. Not from the government. Not from Camille's company. They were here for one reason. To take the girl. And the chapter ends as the jet door slowly begins to open, revealing the figures stepping out of the SUVs, faces hidden, intentions unknown. The cabin was silent, so silent the sound of the landing gear cooling could be heard like ticking metal footsteps. But the true footsteps, the ones waiting outside, were far more dangerous. The jet door unlocked with a slow mechanical hiss. Camille placed her arm in front of Nia instinctively. "Stay behind me," she whispered. Nia's voice trembled. "Madam, who are they?" Camille didn't answer. She couldn't. Liam stepped out of the cockpit at that exact moment, still wearing his captain composure, but underneath, his jaw was clenched so tight it looked painful. The co-pilot stayed inside, monitoring the controls in case they needed to take off again. The door opened fully. 3 tall figures stood at the bottom of the stairs. No badges, no airport uniforms, no identification. Their tinted glasses hid their eyes and their black suits blended with the SUVs behind them. They weren't authorities. They weren't employees. They were something else entirely. The man in front stepped forward with calm confidence. "Miss Hartman," he said politely, "welcome back." Camille nodded stiffly. "I wasn't expecting you." "We received information that there may be a matter requiring our intervention," the man replied. His calmness was unnatural. His politeness unnerving. "And what matter is that?" Camille asked carefully. The man's eyes shifted barely to Nia. "That," he said, "has not been disclosed." Nia stepped back until her back touched one of the seats. Liam moved subtly to stand between her and the aisle, blocking the man's line of sight. Camille caught the motion. So did the man. "Is there a problem?" he asked. "No," Camille said quickly, "but this jet is under my authority. No one enters without my direct permission." The man didn't blink. "Your permission has already been granted." Camille stiffened. Liam's brows snapped down. "By whom?" he demanded. "By the necessary people," the man replied, still unreadable. Liam took a single step forward, lowering his voice. "This is a private aircraft under charter law. You don't step inside without documentation, and I'm not seeing any." The 2 men behind the leader tensed subtly, their stance shifting. Liam's hand moved slightly toward the jet door controls. If he slammed the door shut, they'd be able to take off at least long enough to get Nia out of danger. Camille's breath hitched. The man raised a hand, not a threatening gesture but a warning one. "Captain Kingston," he said, "your loyalty is admirable, but this is not your concern." Nia whispered, "Captain, please don't get in trouble." Liam didn't budge. Camille slowly pulled Nia closer. "We're leaving through the private corridor," she announced, "alone." The man shook his head. "Miss Hartman, this is not optional." He took one slow step up the stairs. That was when Liam acted. He slammed the door control. But before it could shut, the man shoved it back with impossible speed. The door jerked violently, metal groaning. "You should not interfere," he said sharply. Liam's heartbeat roared in his ears. He didn't know who these men were, but they weren't ordinary. Their strength was wrong. Their presence was wrong. Camille grabbed Nia's hand. "Run." Nia hesitated for half a second, too shocked to process, but Camille pushed her ahead. The cabin exploded into motion. Liam lunged at the man, shoving him back off the stairs. "Go," he yelled. The co-pilot saw the struggle and immediately initiated emergency lockdown, pulling the cockpit door shut and activating the override. The jet door snapped shut before the other two men could force it open. For a brief moment, they were sealed inside again. But the men outside were banging on the metal with fists strong enough to dent it. Nia was crying now, trembling so hard her teeth chattered. "Madam, who are they? Why are they after me?" Camille grabbed her shoulders. "Nia, listen to me, I need you to breathe." "I don't understand," Nia sobbed. "I'm nobody, why would they?" "You are not nobody," Camille whispered. "You never were." Liam ran down the cabin. "We need to take off again now." Camille shook her head. "We can't, they'll track us, and if we attempt to take off without clearance, they'll force us down." "So what do you suggest?" Liam demanded. "Hand her over." Nia looked between them horrified. "Hand me over to who? Why?" Camille hesitated, just long enough that the silence became an answer itself. Nia felt her knees weaken. "Madam, what am I not being told?" Camille closed her eyes briefly, then opened them with a decision made. "You deserve the truth," she said, "but not here, not with them outside." Liam checked the windows. The men were regrouping. One of them spoke into a small device, likely calling reinforcements. "They'll breach the jet soon," Liam warned. "We have minutes at best." Camille turned to him. "Captain, is there a maintenance hatch, something small, something they won't be watching?" "There's one under the rear seat compartment," Liam said, "but it leads to the underground service tunnel. It's dark and unstable." "We'll take it," Camille said. Nia gasped. "Madam, this is too much. Please tell me what's happening." Camille grabbed both her hands. "Nia, look at me. You are in danger because of who you belong to." Nia pulled back, shaking. "Belong to? I don't belong to anyone." Camille swallowed hard. "You do, and they found you." Liam stared. "Found her? Camille, what have you been hiding?" The banging on the jet door intensified, louder, harder. The metal began to bend inward. The co-pilot shouted from the cockpit, "They're forcing the lock." Camille turned to Liam, voice cracking. "Get her out, I'll distract them." Nia grabbed her arm. "No, madam, don't leave me." Camille's eyes softened for the first time in hours. "Nia, I promised your mother I would protect you, even if it cost me everything." Nia froze. "My mother." Camille nodded. "She didn't die the way they told you, and you were never abandoned, you were hidden." The door bent inward with a final metallic groan. Liam lunged forward. "We're out of time." Nia stared at Camille, her world cracking open. "Madam, who is my mother?" Camille whispered the words like a confession. "Your mother was the woman they spent 22 years searching for." The jet door burst. Shouts filled the cabin. Liam grabbed Nia. Camille stepped in front of the men. And Nia's scream echoed through the aircraft as her entire identity began to unravel.
If this story is already touching your heart, please take 1 second to like this video, subscribe to Black Race Tales, and turn on notifications. Your support helps us keep telling these powerful African and Black community stories to the world.
The jet door split open with a violent metallic crack, and the sound thundered through the cabin like the roar of a beast finally breaking its cage. The men in black surged inside, fast, coordinated, unhesitating. Camille stepped forward immediately, shielding Nia with her body. "Stop right there," she commanded. The leader halted, raising a hand to signal the others. "Miss Hartman, step aside." "No," Camille said, "you will not take her." The man didn't blink. "We don't need permission." Liam tightened his grip around Nia's arm. "Move," he whispered urgently. But Nia was frozen, her legs wouldn't move. Her heart felt like it had slipped out of place in her chest. "My mother hidden. My mother hunted. My mother the one they search for." Her brain was scrambling to rearrange her entire existence, but the world wasn't waiting for her to catch up. The men advanced. Camille raised both hands, palms outward. I can negotiate, no one has to get hurt, listen to me. But the leader stepped closer. You cannot negotiate a destiny written before she was born. Destiny. The word stabbed through Nia like a blade made of ice. Liam saw her trembling violently. He grabbed her shoulders and forced her to look at him. Nia, listen to me, you have to move now. She shook her head brokenly. He said destiny. I don't care what he said, Liam snapped. Focus on my voice. A gun clicked. Everyone stilled. One of the men aimed at Liam. Step aside, Captain, this has nothing to do with you. Liam positioned himself in front of Nia, body tense, jaw set. If it concerns her, it concerns me. The man's tone darkened. You are making a fatal mistake. But Liam didn't back down. Camille knew they were out of time. She shouted, now, Captain. Liam reacted instantly. He shoved the nearest food cart toward the men, bought a second of chaos, and pulled Nia toward the rear of the jet. Nia stumbled as they ran, her breath breaking into sharp sobs. Why me? Why are they doing this? Because you matter, Liam said as he dragged her through the aisle, more than you realize. They reached the back seat and Liam flipped it open, revealing the maintenance hatch. Cold air rushed upward from the dark tunnel below. Hurry, he said. Nia hesitated. What if it's a trap? What if? A gunshot exploded at the front of the jet. Nia screamed. They're shooting, the co-pilot yelled. Camille shouted from the front, go Nia, go now. The urgency in Camille's voice snapped something inside Nia. She dropped into the hatch without thinking. Liam followed her in, pulling the seat shut behind him. Darkness swallowed them instantly. Only a narrow strip of yellow lighting on the tunnel floor guided them. Nia's breath shook uncontrollably. Madam, what will they do to her? Liam didn't answer immediately. His voice was tight with fear and guilt. Camille can handle herself, she knew what she was doing. But I don't understand, Nia cried. Who are they? Why do they want me? Who am I? Liam swallowed hard before saying, we'll find out, but first we get out of here alive. They rushed through the narrow tunnel, the sounds of the men above echoing faintly through the metal walls, running, shouting, searching. Nia tripped and nearly fell. Liam caught her waist instantly. His hands lingered longer than necessary, steadying her. You're okay, he whispered. For a moment their eyes met in the dim light. Something warm flickered between them, brief but undeniable. But the moment ended when a loud clang echoed behind them. They've found the hatch, Liam hissed. Go faster. Nia forced her legs to move. Her chest burned, her mind spun, her heart raced. Every breath felt like she was inhaling fear itself. The tunnel sloped downward until it opened into a wider underground corridor beneath the airport. Emergency lights flickered along the walls. This way, Liam said. But the moment they stepped into the corridor, flashlights appeared from the opposite end. Boots. Voices. They're coming from this side too, Nia whispered. Liam grabbed her hand. Then we create another way. He dashed to a metal grate on the wall, an old service vent, and kicked it hard. It loosened but didn't fall. He kicked again harder. It cracked. One more, he muttered. The echoes of approaching footsteps grew louder. Nia looked at him desperately. Captain Liam, they're almost here. Liam stepped back and kicked the vent with everything he had. It flew open. Go, he said. Nia scrambled inside the narrow vent. Liam followed, pulling the grate halfway shut behind them. The vent was tight, so tight their shoulders brushed with every movement. Nia whispered shakily, if I die here I won't even know who I am. Liam crawled close enough to whisper back, you are someone worth protecting, that's all you need to know right now. Nia's throat tightened, why do you care so much, you barely know me. Liam hesitated. The truth was simple. And impossible. I don't know, he finally said, but I knew the moment I saw you. Nia stopped crawling. He bumped into her gently, why did you stop? She whispered, "You knew." "Yes." Her heart thudded painfully. Something in his voice, quiet, honest, shaken, made her chest feel warm despite the terror. But the warmth vanished instantly when heavy footsteps thundered into the corridor outside the vent. Flashlights shone through the gaps. "They went through here." Nia gasped. Liam pressed a finger to her lips. "Don't breathe loudly." The lights moved past slowly, then stopped. Someone was looking directly at the vent. Nia clutched Liam's arm. The flashlight beam hovered, then moved on. Voices faded. Footsteps grew distant. Nia exhaled shakily. "Captain, I can't do this, I caw." "You can," he whispered, "because I'm not letting anything happen to you." She closed her eyes tightly. After a few moments, Liam signaled for them to keep moving. They crawled for what felt like forever until the vent opened into another maintenance hallway deeper under the airport. Liam climbed out first, then helped Nia down. She leaned into him for a moment, still shaking, still lost. "Captain, what did Camille mean?" she asked. "Who was my mother?" Liam brushed a strand of her natural hair away from her face gently. "We'll get answers, but right now." He listened. Voices echoed from the tunnel behind them. "They're still searching," he muttered. "We can't stay here." Nia stepped closer, eyes wide and fearful. "Where do we go?" Liam met her gaze with a steady determination she needed like air. "We disappear," he said, "before they find us." But as they began to run, a figure stepped out of the shadows ahead of them. Someone who shouldn't have been there. Someone Nia recognized. She froze, whispering one word. "You." Nia's breath caught in her throat as the shadowed figure stepped forward into the dim underground hallway. Dusty emergency lights flickered overhead, revealing a familiar face she never expected to see here, never. Her voice cracked. "Mr. Roland." The middle-aged driver of Camille's household, quiet, polite, the man who always opened doors and never spoke unless spoken to, stood in front of them wearing a dark jacket and a troubled expression. "Nia," he said softly. Liam instantly moved in front of her, shielding her. "Step back," he warned. "She is not going anywhere with you." Roland raised his hand slowly. "I'm not here to hurt her." "Funny," Liam snapped. "Everyone else who says that somehow ends up chasing her through tunnels." Roland's shoulders sagged. "I know how it looks, but you have to trust me. Miss Hartman sent me." Nia shook her head vigorously. No, she was still on the jet. She wouldn't have had time." "She did," Roland interrupted. "The moment you dropped into the hatch, she activated a silent distress signal. It went directly to me. I came through the lower airport levels to intercept you before they did." Liam narrowed his eyes. "Prove it." Roland slowly reached into his pocket and pulled out Camille's distinctive diamond stud cufflink, one Liam had seen her wearing just a few hours earlier. "She ripped this off when they grabbed her," Roland said, "a message that it's real." Nia covered her mouth, tears filling her eyes. "Madam, they captured Madam." Roland nodded grimly. Liam exhaled sharply, running a hand over his head, packing for a heartbeat before stopping. "Where do we go from here?" Roland turned and pointed down a darker tunnel. "There's an unmonitored exit that leads to an old supply yard outside the airport perimeter. Cameras don't work there anymore. If we move fast, we can get out without being seen." "Why are you helping us?" Liam demanded. Roland hesitated, then looked directly at Nia. "Because your mother saved my life 22 years ago," he said, "and I swore to protect her child if the day ever came." The hallway spun around Nia. My mother," she whispered. Roland nodded. "She wasn't just anyone, she wasn't ordinary, and neither are you." Liam stepped closer protectively. "Explain now." Roland looked at Nia with a painful mixture of loyalty and sorrow. "Your mother was the last living heir of a powerful lineage, A lineage the men up there belong to, a council that believes they have the right to control people like her and like you. Nia stumbled back, clutching the wall. No, no, this is a mistake. I'm just a maid. I clean rooms, I iron clothes, I take notes for madam. You were hidden as a maid, Roland corrected gently, to keep you alive. Liam's jaw clenched. Hidden from who? Roland's voice dropped. From the same men who boarded the jet. A chill swept through the corridor. Nia's chest tightened. Why do they want me? Roland swallowed hard. Because according to them, you don't just belong to the lineage, you are meant to lead it, and they will not allow that unless you're under their control. Nia shook her head, covering her ears. This is too much, please stop, I can't. Liam stepped forward, cupping her face gently with both hands. Nia, look at me. Her watery eyes met his. You're not alone, he whispered. Not now, not ever. His voice held a quiet certainty that wrapped around her like a blanket, steadying her shaking breaths. Roland cleared his throat softly. We need to move, they're scanning this level. Liam helped Nia walk, but her legs were wobbly, her mind clouded with shock. The tunnel was long, smelling of rust and cold water. As they moved deeper, Roland explained more in fragments. Your mother didn't run away, he said. She escaped. They wanted her to surrender her authority. She refused. What authority? Nia whispered. Roland hesitated. A gift, one every daughter in your line inherits, a gift they want to control. What gift? Liam pressed. Roland looked at Nia again, this time with an almost fearful respect. You will understand when it awakens. Nia's stomach nodded. Awakens, what does that mean? Before Roland could answer, a loud metallic crash echoed from behind them. They found the vent, Liam hissed. Roland's face blanched. Run. They sprinted through the tunnel. Nia's heart hammered, her breaths sharp and painful. Liam kept a tight grip on her hand, pulling her when she lagged. Roland led the way, flashlight flickering. But then, a voice boomed through the tunnel behind them. Bring us the girl. Nia screamed. Liam pulled her faster. Don't look back. But Nia did. The men were running in full speed, no hesitation. Roland shouted, we're close, only one door left. They reached a rusted steel door with a bulky lever. Roland threw his shoulder into it, forcing it open. Sunlight spilled through a crack, real sunlight, freedom, escape. Go, Roland yelled. Nia and Liam squeezed through the opening into a dusty open yard filled with old cargo crates. Roland pushed the door shut behind them and jammed a thick metal rod through the handles. The men slammed into the other side almost instantly. The door shook violently. It won't hold long, Roland warned. Liam pulled Nia behind a stack of crates. Where do we go from here? Roland scanned the yard. There's a service gate on the far end, if we reach it before they come around. Gunfire exploded. Concrete shattered. Nia screamed and ducked as bullets hit the crates inches from her head. They've come around, Roland shouted. 3 men emerged from the alley, weapons drawn. Nia down, Liam yelled, shielding her as he tackled her to the ground. Roland pulled out a concealed pistol, something none of them had ever seen him carry. He fired back, sending the men scattering behind machinery. Nia covered her ears, shaking uncontrollably. I can't do this, I'm not strong, I'm not. Liam grabbed her chin, forcing her to meet his eyes. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Nia, listen, his voice cut through the chaos. You've survived this far, you're still here, and I'm not letting anyone touch you. A bullet whizzed past them. Roland shouted, they're flanking. Liam pulled Nia to her feet. We run on 3. Captain. 1. Another bullet hit the crate. 2. Nia's pulse roared. 3. They bolted toward the far gate. Roland provided cover, firing steadily. The men advanced from both sides. Nia tripped, but Liam lifted her effortlessly and kept running. They reached the gate. Blocked. Chained. Locked tight. Nia sobbed, "We're trapped." Roland shouted, "Stand back." He aimed at the lock and fired twice. The chains snapped. Liam yanked the gate open. They dashed outside into a deserted service road. But as soon as they crossed the threshold, a black sedan screeched to a stop in front of them, cutting off their escape. The rear door swung open, revealing a woman. A woman with Nia's eyes. Nia froze. Roland whispered in shock, "It can't be." Liam tightened his grip on Nia. And the woman inside the car said, "Nia, my daughter, come with me." The world seemed to tilt sideways as Nia stared at the woman inside the black sedan. Her breath seized in her chest, her legs weakened, her vision blurred around the edges. The woman looked exactly like her. Same almond-shaped eyes. Same gentle cheekbones. Same warm caramel tone. Same natural hair texture, though older and pulled into a neat bun. Nia whispered, barely audible, "Mother." The woman stepped partly out of the car, hands raised in reassurance. "Yes, baby, it's me." Liam immediately pulled Nia a step backward. "Stay behind me, we don't know who she is." The woman's eyes softened. "Captain Kingston, you're brave. I know you're trying to protect her, but you have to trust me, we don't have time." Roland stood frozen, gun lowered but still ready. "Madam Imani, you're alive." "Very much," she said quietly. Nia felt her heart pounding so violently she feared it might burst. Her voice shook. "You, my mother, you're alive, but they told me, everyone told me you died." Imani's eyes filled with a sorrow so deep it seemed to ripple through the air. "I did die, Nia. The woman they said died was never me. It was a body planted to protect you, to hide me, and to hide you." Nia stumbled backward, shaking her head wildly. "No, no, this is too much, too fast." Liam steadied her quickly. "Nia, breathe." But she couldn't. Her chest felt too tight, her thoughts too loud, her lungs too weak. "I'm just a maid," she whispered, voice cracking. "I clean rooms, I wash dishes, I'm not who you're saying I am, I can't be." Imani stepped closer, but Liam put a hand out to stop her. "Not another step," he growled. Imani nodded slowly. "I understand, but the truth remains whether you accept it today or later." Behind them, gunfire erupted again. The men in black had reached the yard. Roland shot back, "We don't have time for emotional reunions, they're coming." Imani gestured urgently, "Get in the car now." Nia hesitated, trapped between fear, bewilderment, and a desperate desire for answers. Liam looked at Imani sharply. "Where will you take her?" "To safety," Imani replied. "That's not an answer." Imani's patience thinned. "Captain, if they capture her, she will disappear forever. I am the only one who can stop that." Roland fired again. "This way is clear right now, but in 10 seconds they'll box us in." Imani pressed her palm to her chest, voice trembling. "Nia, my baby, I have waited 22 years for this moment. I swear on my life I will not harm you. I will not let anyone harm you." Nia's legs gave out. Liam caught her. Her pulse hammered. Her breathing became shallow. Her mind screamed for answers, for escape, for someone to tell her who she was supposed to be. Liam tightened his grip. "Nia, listen to me. You decide, you, not her, not me, you." Gunshots rang again, closer now. Imani shouted, "Nia, they will take you if you stay out here." Nia's voice cracked. "What if you're lying? What if this is a trick? What if you're part of them?" Imani flinched, pain flickering across her face. "If I were part of them, we wouldn't be running." Liam's eyes darted between Nia and the oncoming danger. "Nia, choose." Nia squeezed her eyes shut. Her mind fractured in two directions. One part wanted to run into her mother's arms, cling to her, and beg for the truth she had been denied her whole life. The other part wanted to run the opposite direction, pretend none of this ever happened, and go back to the safe, simple world she knew. But that world no longer existed. Finally, Nia opened her eyes, full of fear, confusion, and a sliver of determination. "I won't leave without the captain," she said quietly. Liam stiffened. Imani paused. "Both of us," Nia repeated, "or I stay." Imani breathed out slowly. "So be it, both of you now get in." Liam hesitated a moment longer, scanning the car, the surroundings, her posture, everything. His instincts screamed danger, but also opportunity. He pushed Nia into the back seat gently and slid in after her. Roland slammed the trunk shut and dove into the front passenger seat just as another wave of bullets hit the cargo crates behind them. Imani jumped into the driver's seat. "Hold on," she warned. The car shot forward with a violent acceleration that threw everyone back against their seats. Tires screeched. Bullets shattered the rear windshield. Nia screamed. Liam pulled her close, shielding her head. Imani zigzagged through the dusty service road, avoiding obstacles with terrifying skill. Roland fired shots out the broken rear window, keeping their pursuers back. Nia looked up at Liam, eyes overflowing. "Captain, are we going to die?" His voice was steady. "Not today." The car burst through a broken fence and sped onto an abandoned highway stretch behind the airport. But two black SUVs appeared from the left. Imani cursed under her breath. "They're persistent." Liam peered ahead. "Can you outrun them?" "I can try," she said. The chase intensified. Engines roared. Gravel sprayed. Metal screeched. Nia clung to Liam, shaking uncontrollably. Imani swerved sharply left as one SUV tried to ram them off the road. Liam grabbed the door handle, bracing himself. Roland fired a warning shot. The SUV didn't slow. It rammed them again. Nia cried out as the whole car jolted violently. Imani gritted her teeth. "I'm ending this." She slammed the brakes. The SUV rocketed past them, momentarily thrown off balance. Imani then yanked the steering wheel hard to the right and accelerated again. The sudden maneuver allowed them to slip behind the SUV instead of beside it. The car roared onto a narrower dirt path, deeper into an old industrial zone. The SUVs followed. Nia whispered, "They won't stop." Imani nodded in the rearview mirror. "No, they won't, not until they have you." "Why?" Nia cried. "Why am I so important?" Imani looked at her daughter with a grief only a mother could carry. "Because you were born to replace them," she said, "and people who want to keep their power never let the rightful heir live freely." Nia's breath shuddered. Liam tightened his grip around her hand. But then, up ahead, a huge metal gate blocked the road. Imani slammed the brakes. The car skidded to a screeching stop inches from the gate. The SUVs closed in behind them. Imani whispered, "This is it." Nia grabbed Liam's arm. "Captain." Before anyone could speak, a deep rumbling sound echoed across the industrial field. Some kind of massive machine was powering on behind the gate. And then they saw it. The gate was opening, revealing a hidden compound. And standing in front of it were armed guards. But not the same men who were chasing them. These guards were different. Protective, unified, organized. Imani exhaled with relief. "We made it," she whispered. "My people found us." But Liam's eyes narrowed. "Your people?" Imani nodded. "Yes, the resistance." The gates opened fully. And waiting at the center was an elderly woman with silver hair and commanding presence. She said one sentence that made Nia's knees buckle. "Bring the girl to me, the heir must be prepared." The moment the gates closed behind them, the world outside disappeared. The air shifted, quiet, heavy, and full of expectation. The black sedan slowed as the elderly woman stepped forward, leaning on a carved wooden cane. Her silver hair was wrapped in elegant coils, and her eyes carried the weight of knowledge older than the walls surrounding them. Imani stepped out first. Liam followed, keeping Nia behind him protectively. The elderly woman spoke in a calm but powerful tone. Let the girl come forward. Nia couldn't move. Her entire body trembled, every muscle frozen between fear and disbelief. Imani walked over, gently touching her daughter's arm. Nia, baby, it's all right, you're safe here. No, Nia whispered, I don't feel safe anywhere, not even with you. Everything keeps changing. Everyone keeps saying things I don't understand. Liam's hand rested lightly on her back. You don't have to go alone, I'm right here. Nia's breath wavered. She looked at the elderly woman, stern, patient, expectant, and then at the compound behind her, buzzing with shadow-like figures preparing for a war she never asked to be part of. After a long moment, she stepped forward. The elderly woman studied her, really studied her, before nodding as if confirming something she had already known. Yes, she said softly, it is her. Nia swallowed hard. Who am I? Imani stepped closer. Your name is Nia Imani Akari. You are the daughter of Imani Akari, last leader of the luminary lineage. The elderly woman added, and rightful heir to the authority your mother guarded with her life. Nia's voice cracked, I'm just a maid. No, the woman said, you were hidden as a maid, you were born something far greater. Nia shook her head again. Why hide me, why lie to me, why let me grow up with nothing? Imani's eyes filled with tears, years of guilt surfacing. To save you, when you were born, the council wanted you under their control. They believed if they raised you, they could use your inherited gift for their own power. What gift? Nia whispered. The elderly woman touched a pendant around her neck, ancient and glowing faintly. The gift of intuition, she said, in its purest form, something only one child in every generation receives. Liam frowned. What does it do? Everything, the woman replied. It reveals truth, unmasks deceit, predicts danger, exposes the heart's intentions, a gift so powerful men will kill to control the one who possesses it. Nia stepped back, overwhelmed. I don't have any gift, I don't feel anything. You will, the woman said. It awakens when your life reaches its turning point. This today is that moment. Imani gently cupped Nia's face. This is why I left you with Camille. She was loyal to me and brave enough to hide you from the council. Nia froze. Did she know who I was? Yes, Imani whispered, and she protected you all these years. Nia's heart cracked painfully. They took her, they hurt her because of me. Roland stepped forward. Camille knew the risk, she chose it willingly. Tears blurred Nia's vision. The guilt felt unbearable. Liam squeezed her hand. This isn't your fault. Before she could answer, a loud alarm went off inside the compound. Everyone turned sharply. A guard ran toward them. Madame Imani, they tracked the car. The council's men found the perimeter. The ground vibrated. Engines roared outside the walls. Shouting voices echoed. Liam stepped in front of Nia instinctively. We need to move her, now. Imani nodded. Take her to the lower chamber. They cannot enter that place. The elderly woman raised her hand. Wait. Everyone paused. Her eyes were on Nia alone. It is time, she said. The gift is awakening. Nia blinked. What? How? I don't feel. But then she felt it. A strange sensation spreading through her chest. Warmth. Pressure. A deep vibration pulsing through her bones. Her knees buckled. Liam caught her instantly. Nia, hey, breathe, look at me. Her eyes fluttered, unfocused. Captain, something happening. Imani knelt beside them. It's the intuition aligning with your consciousness, don't fight it. Nia shook violently as flashes of images, blurry, chaotic, flooded her mind. Camille screaming her name. Men dragging Camille across the jet floor. Liam placing a hand over hers for the first time. Her mother hiding her in a basket as a baby. The council men standing in a circle. Power. Fear. Darkness. She gasped and clutched Liam's shirt. Captain, I see them. Camille, she's alive, she's fighting. Liam's eyes widened. She's alive. Yes, Nia whispered, breathing hard, and she's buying us time. The elderly woman nodded approvingly. The gift is awakening indeed. But Nia shook her head violently. No, make it stop, please make it stop. Imani wrapped her arms around her daughter. You must breathe through it, it is overwhelming at first. Liam held her trembling hands. I'm right here. Nia's breathing slowed. Her heartbeat steadied. Her vision cleared. And for the first time, she felt something powerful coursing through her. Control. The elderly woman stepped closer. Your gift will show you what must be done. You were not meant to run forever. Gunfire erupted outside the gates. Liam pulled Nia to her feet. We need to escape. The elderly woman shook her head. She cannot run, she must confront what is coming, only then will the council stop pursuing her. Nia felt the weight of her destiny pressing on her chest. Then she looked at Liam. In his eyes she found something she needed. Strength. Warmth. Truth. Love. Liam brushed her cheek gently. Whatever you choose, I'm with you. Her chest tightened. He meant it. Imani held her daughter's hand. Nia, choose your path. Outside, the enemy closed in. Inside, Nia's entire life waited on her next breath. She stepped forward. Then she said quietly, I won't run anymore. Imani's eyes filled with pride. Then you are ready. Liam touched her back. We faced them together. Nia nodded. But when she turned toward the gates, the metal burst open. Men in black stormed into the compound. Weapons raised. And Nia whispered, It's time. Cliffhanger and conclusion. The fate that was chasing her had finally arrived. But she was no longer the maid they expected. She was the heir. Awakened. Protected. And standing between the past and her future. With the pilot who fell in love with her at first sight.